Good afternoon, everyone. Jason here. Today is October 1st, and this is your aftermarket update. All right, so we had a good day here, net, a very good day here at the Oil Trading Group. In fact, if you take a look here, we're on day 2 of this Top Step Trader Combine. And again, we are just a little bit less than $1,800 positive on the day. This is day 2. And today's P&L was $15.90. Now, that is comprised of 2 separate trades here today, or really 3 separate trades. In fact, let's bring this down here. Here is your trader view. Let's break this down into today's trades. We'll come back over here to trades view. And then I want you to see this. So obviously, what's reflected here, you had a $2,240 CL trade, and then you had 2 negative ES trades. Now, this is the trade that I want to focus in on. This is more normal. 7-8 ticks on a stop is what I usually look for. I got slipped in a massive way here, and I'm going to show this to you here really quickly. So if you take a look here on the ES, I was looking to get long off of our structure midpoint. Today, the bias going into this, I was looking long here on the ES today initially. And we had a long right here at the structure mid and the volume weighted average price. And of course, you have measured out this bar. There's a 13-point ES bar. And so literally, as I was getting in and I had this order staged. Typically what I'll do is I'll let it get in, and then I'll place my stop. Well, as soon as I did that, I had to almost immediately flatten the trade, and it went, you can see here, it took me out. So normally it's a 2-point stop right around what I'm looking at. I ended up getting slammed out at nearly 5 points. And so normally, like I said, I'll enter the position, then I'll put my stop on, and that's kind of the way that I've always done it. Well, today that hurt me just a little bit as the market had this massive spike to the downside. And then, of course, it just continued to sell off. I had a trade plan idea today that I was also looking to try to get long, and really it was just a straight down day. So with that being said, we stopped trading the ES, and you can see that I was down here after 2 trades on the ES, and then we recovered quite nicely with a very handsome CL trade for $2,240 on a 2 lot. So we were just well, if you do the math on this, 2240 divided by 20, that is 112 ticks on a CL trade times 2 lots. So we're going to show you that video here in just a moment, but that is the way that went down today. So if you go over to today's reports view, you can see here that we had 33% winning trades, and yet we still finished at 1590, and that's because this largest gain here today was such a massive trade. This hold time on winning trades we held for about 2 hours today, and you can see here the average hold time on my losing trades was about 20 seconds. So I was in and out very, very quickly. I think that's an important number to know, that again, that was just so quick that it whipped me out before really I could even react. And that happens sometimes, and it's unfortunate. If you would have had a normal stop on those 2 ES trades, you could add another couple $100 to the bottom line today. But really, as it was, we were able to go through and have a very, very nice winning day here with that CL trade. We're going to talk about that CL trade here in just a moment. One thing I do want to show you, though, is, again, the market maker levels actually gave you a really good opportunity to kind of walk the stairs down. We were in that CL trade for such a long time today that I really didn't have time to take advantage of this big sell-off on the ES. But again, you can see here that we were held. Again, this is one of the things that we look at. In fact, this is a really good spot if it was later in the day that you would be looking to get long. In fact, it gave you kind of this opportunity down here at what we call the extension 2 level. And that extension 2 level, typically, we call it holding the ball in the yard, to use a sports analogy. Came in a couple of ticks and then rallied 12 points off that level before coming right back down again. So typically speaking, this is a really decent opportunity to try and get long. But we were finished trading after capturing that $2,200 CL trade. Again, just a reminder, we are in taking a Top Step Trader Combine. We started that on Monday of this week. Again, we went through step 1, step 2, and we were trading that funded account into last week, and we had a number of people requesting us to go through a combine again. And so again, as I just showed you here, we are more than halfway home after 2 days in today's really nice trade again. But that is kind of what we consider to be our mantra in here. Our trading edge is that we have the ability to cut the losing trades short and let those winning trades run. So again, let's take a look at what happened here on the CL today. As we were heading into this today, right, the market was really sideways. I mean, very much sideways through pretty much that entire session. Once we had that ISM break and the market comes down into and breaks down through this structure mid, it's kind of hard to see it. It came down, pulled back into the structure mid, and then came down again. That was our cue to look to get short, and that's exactly where you're going to see us get short, is right up here at 44. In fact, I do a lot of not a lot, but I do a little bit of complaining sometimes about getting hit to the tick before the market turns around and goes in my favor. Today, I was actually saved by a single tick. My stop was at 44. It came back to 43, and then the market began to sell off. Now, we were looking for this bigger target down here, all the way down. In fact, we talked about this in the trade room today, that we would have some support along the way, but that we were going to be holding on for this 18 target. In fact, I moved it down just a little bit. I wanted to go for an even 130 ticks all the way down to 14, and ended up getting trail stopped back at 112 ticks times 2 lots, but hey, that's okay, right? So what we talked about was the fact that we were going to have a few hiccups along the path. We talked about coming down to this 13 settlement. Today was at 07, and so we said, look, we just need to be patient and ride this thing out. So the market comes back and forth and spends a lot of time today right around this orange line, which is the ETH session open. But again, what we talked about in the room is that we felt like that because of this rollover and the way that the ES and the NQ were selling off, and because of the way that news was, that we should be continuing to look to push down to it. Now, one other idea that we spent some time talking about, it's going to be kind of hard to see on this profile, is this is where this is settlement here today, right? And we had opened up pretty far above settlement, right, at 54.07. And then we talked about if the market couldn't come down into settlement, that we thought it would be a long day. Well, the market started approaching at the end of that ISM report. We knew settlement was going to be in play. And so the market, again, continues to rotate around this ETH session open and just back and forth. And it was right there after touching that 13 level. The market comes back and forth, and just kind of goes. And then it begins to sell off, right? So as we get into the European session close, by the way, this right here, this was the pullback that nearly got us. And so we said, look, we're just going to hang on to this. We're going to understand and trail stop. We're going to have our trail stop along the way, but we know that if we can get through the DS target and down through this 50 in the extension 1, that we should be able to reach out to our overnight levels, which are designated here with the MS. We thought we would definitely be able to reach out to that. So as the market begins to kind of rotate around, you can see that we came down here to 90. We pulled back up here to settlement right here around 0807. Again, our stop was above this area, and we were just patiently waiting. Market rotates around and then comes down. And this is the bar that we got pulled back on. This is the one that we got trail stopped out on this pullback. We were looking at 14 as the target. Pulls us back there into the extension 1 and really just kind of rotates around before coming all the way down and dipping down below, all the way down to 05. So again, would have been nice to capture that additional 18 ticks, but I would not have wanted to wait through all of this with some uncertainty about how far back it was going to pull. But again, this was a very handsome trade for us here today. And again, as we've done here in front of you over the course of the last 2 months, we have traded step 1, step 2. It's really last month. We traded step 1, step 2, and the funded trading account. And then again, because of all of the request to restart a combine, we restarted the combine on Monday. And after today's trade, we are at, we're just about $1,200 after 2 days. We're up $1,800 and $1,745. And so just about 18, 13, 12.50, whatever that number is. Sorry, it's a long day. With our profit target being $3,000, we are better than halfway to that profit objective after 2 days. So we'll be back in here tomorrow attempting to make another run at it. But what I want to do now is I want to show you that trade of the day that we get into here on the CL, and it was a very nice, very handsome trade. Normally what I'll do is you'll be able to hear me getting into the trade. The audio portion was not working quite like I wanted it to for some reason earlier, but the video is fine. You just won't be able to hear anything. I'll put some notes around it so you can see exactly where we get in. And then once we do that, there'll be some music and around it, and you'll get to see where we get out. Now, as again, like I showed you here on the stats, it was a 2-hour trade, so you're not going to sit through the whole entire 2 hours worth of trades, but I'll cut it down into pieces, speed it up, put some music behind it, and you'll get the gist of where it is that we got into. So again, as always, I want to say thank you for watching the videos here at the Oil Trading Group. And without further ado, here is that OTG trade of the day.